Good morning, everybody. This is Patrick Lee. We are live with another podcast today, Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee. We're going to be talking about gratitude, a little different spin on that today. And is that potentially slowing you down? We will be back right after this. And we are back, taking a few notes here as we talk, as we start the show today. I've been writing down notes feverishly on some ideas that have come to mind from the topic that we're going to be talking about today. Gratitude, is it slowing you down? And what do we do past that? Adjusting some of the lighting here in the studio / office today, brightening things up here in downtown Tower, First Bank Southwest Tower, 18th floor, Studio One, and my office at the Patrick Lee Group Real Estate Company. And we've been keeping the blinds pretty much closed on one side of the building, even though the air conditioning works. It's been blistering hot. Maybe it has been where you are. This is the middle of July 2023. For posterity and people who are listening to this in the future, it's been about 105 to 109 every day for the last couple of days. And I think today's not going to be any different. It's going to be a hot one. So we've been keeping the blinds. It's been a little dark in here to keep it cool in the studio office. But I need to get some light in here. And we're going to shed some light in the studio and shed some light on this topic today, talking about gratitude. And was having breakfast with a great friend of mine this morning before we came in. And he asked me what we're going to talk about today. And I said, gratitude. And he said, that's a great topic, Patrick. It's never a bad time to talk about gratitude. But I didn't tell him at the time that it's going to be a little bit of a different take on gratitude. Hey, Pete, grateful for you coming in to watch the show every week. A lot of people tuning in today, liking and loving the show. That's wonderful. Let's dig into this. Is gratitude slowing you down? That's kind of where we're going today. I have some people in my life and people that I've talked to for years, and I've been making observations on some of them. And it's something that has been hitting me in an odd way. And I don't think it's God telling me I need to change my mind. I'm not telling you that gratitude is a bad thing. Absolutely not. The opposite. Gratitude is a wonderful thing. And we've done many shows. Everyone you know who is in the personal development space has done a show, a podcast, written a book about gratitude. My book has not come out yet. That's in the future. But gratitude will be a very small part of the book, but nevertheless will be a part. So gratitude is a part of everything that comes out of all of us that are in this space, that do a motivational speaking, podcast, writings, things along those lines. So gratitude is a huge thing, but I have people in my life, and you probably do too, that never seem to graduate past gratitude. Every time you talk to them, they're grateful. And if something's going on in their life that may be a little negative, or they've gone through some things in their life, they'll say, well, I'm still grateful. And I'm like, okay, what else are you doing besides sitting in this pattern, this holding pattern of gratitude? And it's got me to thinking, for the last, almost a year, this topic has been on my mind. And I do a gratitude post. Usually I'll do a gratitude show in the fall. I'm thankful. We're reflecting back on things that have happened in the previous year, the people that we're grateful for, the people that have entered our lives this year, the relationships that we have built. And we are grateful for those. My pastors, my friends, my family members, I am grateful for each and every one of you that come back and watch the show. So believe me, I am incredibly grateful for you. And I also know that I cannot simply sit in this attitude of gratitude and not do anything else with my life. Not take that gratitude, that attitude of thankfulness for you, for each and every one of you, and not continue to go out and do better things with my life, better things to help move me forward so I can come back and bring that to you, to learn how to be more honest with myself and with you as well. There is a battle going on in each and every one of us today, in our mind and in our hearts, and it's for honesty. And while gratitude is a great place to start when it comes to getting real with yourself, I don't believe that you're being incredibly honest with yourself if all you ever say is, "Well, I'm grateful. I'm glad God woke me up today. I'm glad I'm still sucking air. I'm glad I woke up above ground today." I believe that while gratitude is important, we need to graduate past that sense of, well, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be where I am, and learn to be honest enough with ourselves to say, but it's not where I'm staying. I have more places to go. I have more things to do. I'm grateful for where I am and that I woke up because God has given me purpose. And if we will learn to win this battle for honesty in our mind and in our speech, we can go much further down the road at getting the things in life that we want, going after the things that we believe God has designed for us or planned for us to and put in our life. We have to be honest with who we are, where we are, before we can ever graduate past that. There is a graduation that comes from you need to graduate from just the state of gratitude. While gratitude is a great starting point, that really gets us in the mindset, in the mood, in the right mental space to move forward. And some of you, and myself included, seem to be fighting this battle in our mind and speech, for honesty on a daily basis. There are many people that I know, and probably you do too, that are very self deprecating. They are always down on themselves to the point of extreme humility. And it seems like they're being very humble, but at the same time, that humility is a cry out for you to prop them up or reassure them that you like them, that you still honor them, that you still value them as a person. So they use self deprecating humor and putting themselves down and this feigned or false sense of humility to get something from you, to get you to lift them up, to pour into them. And that, in my opinion, is a very dishonest way for someone to go through life. If you have to get reassurance and you have to get fulfillment and lift it up from everyone else on a regular basis by using this false sense of humility, then you're not being honest with yourself, and you're not being honest with your friends and the people you have relationship with as well. And I don't think that's a good place for us to be. How many of you know somebody like that? Drop a comment in the comments below the show, and we can talk about some of those things. But you know who they are. They're not just the woe is me people, but they start in gratitude and they just stay in that. I'm just the lowest of the low. I'm just glad to be here. I'm sorry, I don't really have anything to add. Um, if I'm in a group training right now for realtors leadership for the state of Texas, and some of the people, we are asked to contribute a lot of times and make a comment on a topic, and someone will say, well, so and so said what I was going to say. How many of you have ever had that happen to you? You As you're going around the room, you know what you're going to say, and then the person that gets called right before you says the same thing you were thinking. Well, number one, it says you were thinking in the right lines. You had a good answer to contribute to the topic of discussion, so that should reassure you. But at the same time, we need to be quick enough in our mind, and if we're honest with ourselves, to have something to contribute other than just the one topic. And it's like, well, I'm just happy to be here. I don't qualify to be in this room. I know that, the smart people are never the smartest ones in the room. Always put yourself in a room full of smarter people. But you go so overboard with that self deprecation that in a very short amount of time, people can tell that you are really don't have anything to add. But the good people, the wise people, the ones that are there to help you grow will help bring you along if they can tell that you're genuine and you're honest with them and yourself. The battle is for honesty in our mind and our speech. So when we have that attitude of feigned or false humility and putting yourself down, I'm just happy to be here, um, really doesn't tell them that you have an attitude to grow. And I think that in your mind, you may just be happy to be there, but why would you be there if you didn't have the intent to grow? If you don't want to go on and do bigger and better things. So I'm not knocking gratitude, but I am asking you this question. If you are grateful for where you are and that has carried you so far, then what are you going to do now or next? Are you going to stay in this holding pattern, if you will, of I'm just grateful to be here? Or are you actually going to go out and do the things that you believe in your heart and in your mind that you are called to do? We've talked in the past about the speed of the game. My good friend Terry McCaffrey has been on the show. His son Ryan is a pitcher. He's playing for the Swift 57s, I believe, in Canada right now, a team that gets farmed pretty heavily by scouts, and they're looking at growing Ryan into a major league pitcher, getting drafted to go play major league ball. And he can tell you, and I can tell you, when I was in Little League Baseball, it's very different from Major League Baseball. When he was playing high school ball, it's not as fast as college ball. College ball is not as fast as pro ball, right? So you may have started in this attitude of gratitude. You're happy to be there. You're in learner mode, but what are you going to do next? Is your goal to go play Major League Baseball? Is it to be a successful business person? Is it to be a great person with valuable relationships who has things to add to everyone's life? Are you going to stay in that holding pattern of I'm just happy to be here? Or are you actually going to take the steps to move forward? What are you going to do now with that attitude of gratitude? I've talked to a couple of people lately, and we're going to have some great guests coming up on the show in the next few weeks. Scheduled another great speaker yesterday. So we are going to be bringing some more guests onto the show that will really challenge you and motivate you in other areas of your life as well. But as I talk to these people, these are the questions that seem to come up more and more often right now. Of course, we have all of the basics in the elevator speeches. What's your name? Then it's what do you do? But once you've gotten past that, that question changes into, well, how is it going with what you are doing? Once someone has told you what their plans are, what their goals and dreams are, then we enter into this next level of the relationship where we start asking them, how is it going now? What are you going to do now to achieve the thing that you told me you wanted to do? To go out and go after those goals and dreams that you have told me you're challenging yourself to do. While it's good to stay grateful, we definitely don't want to just stay in that attitude of gratitude. There is that question, what are we going to do now? That's my question to you. Hello, Valerie. Great to see you on here as well today. Thank you for tuning in to Midweek Motivation Live. Appreciate you. Met Valerie, a lovely young lady down in Austin earlier this year. Very, very nice lady. Great to meet you. So the battle for honesty in your mind and speech brings us to this topic. What are you going to do now? What has God told you that he wants you to do with your life? How many of you remember that video, I Want to Rock by Twisted Sister in the 80s? What do you want to do with your life? That question haunts me to this day. What do you want to do with your life? The things that God has told me to do in my life. The show that I'm doing now to help motivate people just like yourself. What are you going to do now? While we're grateful to be where we were, and maybe to be where we are, we have got to start taking the steps to move forward into what God wants us to do. And I have a lot of people in my life and a lot of people that I listen to that tell me these grandiose plans, these big plans of what they want to do. And some of them, I see them and they go on and do those things. They take the steps to do it. And then it's wonderful when we go out and we celebrate and we revel in the fact that they took the hard steps to do the hard things to get them to where God wanted them to be. And then I come back and I talk to the others and they're still in the same place they were 10 years ago. They're still grateful. I'm like, that's great. That's a good place to work from. And I'm glad that you're still in that attitude of gratitude, but you should have gone somewhere else between then and now. I don't want to get to the end of my life and get to the pearly gates and God say, hey, man, I'm glad you're here, but there are a lot of other things that I had called you to do and you didn't do them. That, to me, that would not be a good thing, right? Ed Milet talks about meeting his other self, the man God, and that's, I don't think that's scriptural at all. I love Ed Milet. He's one of my top guys I listen to, and he has this notion, and he'll tell you he doesn't know that it's true, but he has this belief, and it helps drive him that when he gets to heaven, God says, hey, I'd like to introduce you to the man you were destined to be. And his goal for him to be heaven would be for him to be identical to that person. And his idea of hell would be for him to be not like that man at all. He didn't live up to any of the things that God destined him to do. And to him, that would be hell. But I believe that I would like to get to heaven and God not say, I called you to do a lot of other things and you didn't do it, but you get to go into heaven anyway. Right? I don't want that to happen. I want to go out and continue to grow, continue to move forward and do the things I believe God has called me to do. How do we do that? A lot of us ask ourselves this all the time. I don't know what to do first, or I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to get where you're telling me I should be going. And one of the things that I have started to do, and I'm going to start doing more of, is immersing myself into situations that I am not in control of, but I have the ultimate power to get myself through. I hope that makes sense to some of y'all listening. Putting myself in rooms with people that are smarter than me, that are more successful than me, and forcing myself to learn how to relate more to them, to communicate better with them, and to learn the things that I need to learn to get to where I need to go. I teach you all the time, if you want to go somewhere, you don't want to follow someone that's never been there. I am reached out to all the time. I'm solicited by people wanting to sell me systems and tell me how much business they can get me, how many followers on social media they can get me. And I have more than they do, with probably less experience than they do. And their methods and their systems are not producing the results in life that I am already producing without them. So why would I want to follow someone who has not done what I want to do, follow someone who has not been where I want to go to get there? So what I am learning to do is immerse myself into conversations, attend meetings and events and functions with people that I am not the center of attention, that I don't know everybody, that I have a lot to learn, and then understand that only I have the way to make myself blend in, fit in, learn, and grow from the people in the room to where I can come out on the other side as an accepted member of that group, that conversation, that group of business people. And I'm the only one that has the ability to get myself into that or do that. And it's can be terrifying to some people. Everyone thinks that because I do a podcast or I'm in real estate where I talk for a living that I love to hear myself speak. I do not. I am asked upon to do it a lot. And I learned to do this because I have to be outgoing to make a living. So this is something that I believe God has put on my heart to do to help others. And by teaching it, I learn it. And I share that a lot as well. So I am learning to immerse myself into situations and conversations that only I can get myself through and out the other side. Practicing hard things will prepare you for hard times. What does that mean, Patrick? If we want to live life easy and take the easy way out, when we get older, we will not be prepared for the hard things of life. So if you want to work easy, you're going to have to be reserved or resolved to the fact that your future is going to be hard. But if we will learn to do hard things now, to practice hard things now, to learn how to react, take control of, and harness the power of hard things now, practice the hard things, then your life is going to be much easier in the future because you're not going to be sidelined when hard situations arise. You're already going to know how to handle them. A lot of people talk a lot and they have all of these plans and dreams and goals and systems. They never really do anything. And we call that horse manure, right? Here in Texas, we call it something else that you scrape off the bottom of your boot a lot. But a guy, when I was growing up in a supermarket I used to work at, used to say he would come in and say, less horse blankety blank. So I'm going to say manure, less horse manure and more horsepower. And that really means shut up and get to work. The two things that most employees never like to hear anymore in this weak day and age that we live in. You need to stop talking so much and you need to get to work. And in business circles, a lot of times we say, put your money where your mouth is. You talk a lot. Why don't you put some money behind what you say and actually get out there and do it? Less horse manure and more horsepower. And that's kind of where I think that we're at in society today. We have so many people coming after our attention, soliciting us for our time, for our attention, for our money, our resources, our finite resources, that we give them away to talkers and we allow ourselves to be talked into things. When my phone rings and it's someone I do not know, I generally answer it unless it says like it's my spam blocker is blocking them, right? I don't always answer those, but when I can, I generally answer the phone because I make money on my phone. I do real estate. If I don't answer the phone, I miss out on transactions and deals. But being in the industry I'm in, and probably in the industry that you're in as well, we are inundated with calls all day long from someone wanting our attention. Number one, to start the call, they want to lock you into the conversation and start a dialogue, because they know if they can get you into a dialogue, the chances go up incrementally that they can talk you into a sale or a purchase of their product, their system, their website, whatever it is. So you have to get to the point to where you can make a decision very quickly. When you're talking to this person, are they after my time or my money? Are they trying to lock me into a long, drawn out conversation so they can wear me down? When you're trying to eliminate or change your phone plan, if you're wanting to turn off cable, if you're wanting to get rid of Dish Network or DirecTV or one other service, they have these people that are paid salespeople that are paid to talk to you for an hour to try to keep you. They're retention specialists, right? They're trained to retain you, to get you to stay with the company. And first they'll start by offering you another program for the same cost. Then if it gets past that, they may offer you a discount. But generally, I would get to the very beginning. I would just get them on the phone and I'd say, hey, I'm canceling this service for this reason. And before you even start the conversation, let you know, this is what I'm doing. I am not staying with your service. And if you want to talk to yourself for an hour, go ahead. I'm going to put you on hold. But this conversation is basically over. And you just get to the point immediately, right? No sense beating around the bush. You don't like their service. You're not going to maintain their service. You're cutting it off. End of discussion. And these people that call me every day, yesterday it was about 4 of them. This is Patrick Lee. How can I help you? And you automatically get picked up by a computer with someone on the other line that you have said hello. And now they want to start to sell you their system. And if you will maintain that conversation for more than about 30 seconds, chances are you're going to listen to their pitch, their spiel, and you're going to eventually get talked into purchasing something that you probably don't need. And had they not called you, it's not something you would have ever known that you needed or wanted, right? So a lot of people are just there to talk, because relationships happen when we speak. So the other side of that coin is, if you want to develop that relationship, get yourself into these rooms, into these situations with the people that are smarter, more intelligent financially, and educationally than you are, and practice the hard things. Learn how to speak to these people. Learn how to connect with the right people to help get you down the road to where you want to go to follow your goals and dreams. I met a fellow here as a business planner. He bought a historical home here in the downtown region. He wants to turn it into an Airbnb. He called me yesterday wanting to get together and have a lunch, basically a lunch and learn. But the lunch and learn, as I got into the conversation, was more for him to learn what kind of connections he could get from me, how many resources he could get from me to help him get his goals and dreams off the ground, and wanted me to basically tell him how to do it, who he needed to talk to do it, and where he needed to go to get the financing to do it. And I told him at that point, I said, basically, you've got the cart way before the horse. I can help you locate a property when you are ready for that, but you need a CPA, you need a tax preparer, someone that can get you educated on the different kind of tax breaks you could get in different areas, and a business planner. He had no business plan. I said, you need to put together a business plan and put together a couple of the financial people you need and get your ducks in a row. And when you've gotten that done, I said, then we need to get together and talk, and we can start looking at suitable locations, because right now you don't even know what you want to do. So it's really hard for me to come and take my time to meet with you and share resources with you when you have no plan, you just have a pipe dream. So I wasn't hushing him down or shutting him down. I sent him the phone numbers of a couple of people that could get him started in the financial side, give him some education and a little bit of tax preparation. So we've started the ball rolling, and we've gotten him a little bit of education, and now he's going to do the right things in the right order. And when that time is right, we will come back together and we will take the next step. Does that make sense? So we've got him going in the beginning in the right direction. And instead of spending a whole lot of time talking about something that is not going to help him right now and probably inundate him with this fire hose of knowledge and information that would be hard for him to disseminate and interpret, we just had to point him in the right direction and say, go. Right. And that's what I am learning in these conversations, immersing myself into hard situations. I'm learning to make decisions faster. And really, that's the secret to what we're doing right now is you need to speed up. Some of you are playing too slow. You are putting things in the wrong order. You're making wrong decisions. Sometimes you're making wrong decisions faster. And that's good, because if you make wrong decisions, that's how you learn to make good decisions, right? That's where experience comes from. Learning to make right decisions comes from making wrong decisions. And we learn by our mistakes sometimes. But if we practice the hard things and we're in the rooms with people smarter than us, they can help us avoid some of those things. But the main secret behind all of that is you just need to speed up. You need to speed up your plans. You need to get into those tough rooms and those tough situations faster so you can learn to make faster decisions, because the early bird gets the worm, right? You need to be the person that thinks of the new idea, the new trend, the next thing that's going to come around the pike that's going to make you and those in your circle successful before someone else does, and you're not coming after the fact trying to get caught up. Does that make sense? I hope this is, because we are called to be leaders, not always followers. It's sometimes good to jump on board. I have been contemplating a couple of different systems that I might get involved in, but I really haven't had a notion or an urging to jump into some of the latest things that are out there, because I am involved in doing other things that are working. And although I know I need to continue to grow, and I don't know that there's a couple of these. And number one, the first one is AI. So I have delved into some AI, and we've chopped up some videos with AI, and we've done a few photos with AI, but jumping into an artificial intelligence mode and module to start automating everything that I do and take the human element out of it, I'm just not for. My daughter works on my team, and she is an artist and an author and a writer and does our marketing. And there are many different things that now with the click of a button, I could go in and create, and that would eliminate her position. Is that something I want to do because it's going to save me some money? Absolutely not, because the human element will always need to be there, because that's where relationships are made. AI will never create a relationship for you. It may allow you to make yourself look better, sound better, or seem better. But where the rubber meets the road, it's going to be eye to eye, face to face, when you're actually talking to people. And when you have this persona that's been created online artificially, and then you show up with you, all of that facade gets washed away immediately in person. Why would I want to eliminate who I am as a person and recreate myself artificially by using AI? So there will be areas where AI may be a benefit to us for some production purposes or getting some answers to some things faster, but we'll never eliminate the human side of who we are and what we do in business. So we have to learn to speed up our relationships, our speech, our methods of getting out and doing what we're called to do. We need to speed up. We need to realize that professionals play at a faster speed. So I've said all of that to say this: while it is great to be in an attitude of gratitude, you're going to carry that gratitude with you throughout all of these things that we set out to do, all of your goals and dreams. You don't ever want to lose the attitude of gratitude. You want to carry that with you, but you need to graduate beyond just sitting in gratitude and not moving forward. You have got to start with the attitude of gratitude, but then move forward. Be grateful for the things that you learn. Be grateful for the new people that you meet, the new relationships that you build. Carry that with you, but don't allow self-deprecation and saying I'm just grateful to be where you sit down and don't move forward. Just don't let gratitude slow you down. That is your bonus tip for this week. I hope this has helped some of you today. I know that this is a little bit of a different take on gratitude. I am not putting gratitude down. I am simply telling you, you have got to do the things that God has called you to do. You have got to get out there and move forward in your life. And don't let yourself get caught in that space of, I'm just grateful for where I am. God, come and tell me what to do next. Because if you don't take the first step to get out there and go after your goals and dreams, it's going to be hard for anyone else to jump on board and help you do that. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. This has been Patrick Lee with Midweek Motivation Live. Go on to where you go and watch your podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher. Go ahead and subscribe. If you're watching this video on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Below this video, you'll see the give us a thumbs up there and like the video. Click on the bell and subscribe as well. And don't forget to come back each and every week and watch the next episode of Midweek Motivation Live. Remember, this courage begins at the end of your comfort zone. Go out there and get uncomfortable today. Make a new friend, start a new plan, start a new relationship. Bye-bye.